Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is the first episode of Lost in Translation. Now I'm going to be taking the Spanish version of The Old Man and the Sea, El Viejo y el Mar by Ernest Hemingway, and I'm going to be retranslating it into English. So I already did the first paragraph and that's the one we're going to be reading today. I'll read the Spanish version, then I'll read my translation, and then I'll read the source material, so the English version. Now I do want to stress that I am not fluent in Spanish in any way, shape, or form. This is me trying to learn Spanish, and it's I gotta take a look at the first few sentences that I've translated, and it's not looking pretty. I also do want to just put in my apologies for any pronunciation issues as I read the paragraph. I'm trying my best over here. Okay, so now I'm going to read the first sentence, or not the first sentence, but the first paragraph in Spanish. Era un viejo que pescaba solo en un barca en la corriente del Golfo y llevaba 84 días sin coger un pez. Durante los primeros 40 días había tenido consigo a un muchacho, pero después de 40 días sin haber pescado, las piedras del muchacho le habían dicho que el viejo estaba definitiva y rematadamente celado, que es la peor forma del infortunio, y por orden de sus padres el muchacho había salido en otro bote que en la primera semana cogió 3 buenos peces. Entristecía al muchacho ver al viejo regresar todos los días con su barca vacía y siempre se acercaba a ayudarle a cargar los rollos de sedal o el bichero y el arpón y la vela arrollada al mástil. La vela estaba remendada con sacos de harina y arrollada. Parecía la bandera de la derrota permanente. So that's the first paragraph in Spanish. I'll now read my translation, which I have a feeling isn't very good at all. It's kind of ugly, but let's go through this. There was an old man who fished alone on a boat in the Gulf's current and sailed 84 days without catching a fish. During the first 40 days, he was with a boy. But after 40 days without catching fish, the boy's father had said the old man was finally and completely salao, was in the worst of shapes, and ordered the boy's father to take another boat out that in the first week caught 3 fish. Sadly, the boy watched the old man every day with his empty boat and always went to help roll the fishing lines, our boat hook, and the harpoon and the sail to the mast. The wake was remembered with sacks of flour, and overwhelmingly appeared the banner of permanent defeat. So I have a feeling that's not a very good translation. I'm going to read the source material. I actually did take a look at it before this video to number the sentences. These books don't have chapters, and I was originally going to go chapter by chapter and just do the first paragraph of each chapter. But since they don't have chapters, I've had to number the sentences so I know which one goes where. So I already kind of took a look at this before, and it's not. So here's the first paragraph of The Old Man and the Sea. He was an old man who fished alone in a skiff in the Gulf Stream, and he had gone 84 days now without taking a fish. In the first 40 days, a boy had been with him. But after 40 days without a fish, the boy's parents had told him that the old man was now definitely and finally Salau, which is the worst form of unlucky, and the boy had gone at their orders in another boat, which caught 3 good fish the first week. It made the boy sad to see the old man come in each day with his skiff empty, and he always went down to help him carry either the coiled lines or the gaff and the harpoon and the sail that was furled around the mast. The sail was patched with flour sacks and furled. It looked like the banner of permanent defeat. That last sentence just makes me laugh because it's completely wrong. I got it completely, utterly wrong. And I'll actually show you where I went wrong in that last sentence where I say that there was a watch or a vigil. So the word that they have, and I actually have a trusty, handy-dandy dry erase board to make my point with. So the word that they have is vela, which when I looked in the Spanish to English dictionary, was vigil or awake. And it had a few other meanings like watchfulness and stuff like that. But what they were really meaning when they meant vela was the sail. So those mean 2 completely different things. So now that I know that, I'm going to change the definition that I wrote down. So what I did when I started this is I wrote down all the words that I didn't know. And that's a lot. I didn't know a lot of words. But I originally thought this meant something completely different. So I'm going to have to change it to sail and hope that the context that the translator uses vela in doesn't change. Because much like English, a lot of the words change given whatever context is going on. Another thing that I'm going to have to keep in mind is I had put the boy's father, but it was actually his parents, so both parents. And what that is in Spanish, though that means father, right? When you put an S at the end, it doesn't just mean fathers, it means parents. So I'm going to have to pay attention, and I'm going to have to work on looking at the plurals in Spanish and translating them correctly into, other things. So that's something that I'm going to have to work on too. Also, I will say that I learned that there's a couple different ways to say fish, and I kind of knew that already, but it was more of a shorthand. So I wrote the first one down, pescado. They also used pez. So all 3 of those are just different ways to say fish. Those are the things that I know I have to work on, though, as far as knowing the plurals in Spanish, knowing that translates to something maybe a little bit different, like maybe the same but just a tiny bit different, such as father into parents. And then also knowing past tense. I'm not the best at that at all. So I'm learning how to get into that past tense and there, this is, those kind of things. And yeah, that's the first paragraph. I'm still, wrapping my head around that I failed it so badly. But that's okay. We're going to work through this. I've been still doing my Spanish lessons on Duolingo, and that's how I'm trying to get used to the grammar structure and everything. And I'm thinking about, there's a site that actually teaches pretty much the grammar parts, not just words, but the full grammar structures, and I may get into that more to be able to do this better. I'm thinking I should have started with a children's book. Ernest Hemingway was a little bit maybe too hard, and I didn't think he was going to be. But that's okay. We're going to get through it. I'm still going to stick with Ernest Hemingway, and I'm still going to stick with this book through the end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like seeing me talk about books, if you like seeing me struggle through Spanish, please hit that subscribe button. And as always, may get lost in a book.